Again, my name is Brandon Roth, and I am from CA 726, Camarillo. Now, before I get started, I want to apologize if this gets a little emotional. This is the first time I've read this story, and it highlights some of the best and worst moments of my life. I'd like to thank Jan Hai for inviting me to speak here today. As I told her, events like these have always given me a tremendous amount of inspiration, and it truly is an honor to be here today, share my story, and hopefully give some of that back to you. But before I get to anything inspiring, I need to clear something up right away. If you're expecting to hear from someone who figured it all out, someone who cracked the code, someone who lost the weight once and never struggled again, you're going to be disappointed, because that's not me. In fact, I'm standing here as someone who still struggles with mental health, addiction, being a good husband and father, loose skin, and the fear of going backwards, with self-doubt. Make no mistake, I am someone who still messes this up. Someone who's lost hundreds of pounds and gained a lot of it back more than once. So if you're sitting there wondering, why is this guy up on stage? Good. That tells me you're exactly the kind of person this talk is for. By the time I was 33 years old, I really thought I would have this whole being an adult thing figured out. I didn't. What I had figured out was how to numb myself. Alcohol, marijuana, tobacco, video games, food, lots of food. These weren't hobbies, they were crutches. They were how I avoided discomfort, responsibility, boredom, fear, and honestly myself. None of these looked like rock bottom addictions, and that is what made them so dangerous. I was always the big kid growing up, but not the tragic story kind. I played football, I was popular, never bullied. People praised my personality instead of questioning my health. I blended in just enough to believe everything was fine. And that's a dangerous place to be when your life is falling apart quietly. College is where things really started sliding. Less class, more screen time and alcohol. Takeout became normal, movement disappeared. When my wife and I moved back to my hometown, life got comfortable. And comfort is where progress goes to die. Despite my doctor's growing concern, I felt fine. My blood work was fine. No major health crisis, no dramatic wake-up call. I was productive at work. I had friends, family who loved me. My weight just became my identity, not a crisis. So I told myself a lie that almost killed me. If I'm gonna die, I might as well die doing what I love. What I really meant was, I don't think I can change, so I'm gonna stop trying. By the time I was 30 years old, I weighed 500 pounds. We were broke, my marriage was strained, I was bored, depressed, and deeply addicted, but still convinced I was in control. That's the thing about addiction and food. You don't have to hit rock bottom. You can just slowly sink. January 8th, 2018. That was the day everything cracked open. But not because I was suddenly motivated, certainly not because I believed in myself, but because I was tired of being a victim of my own behavior. So I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I talked to my doctor, I asked for help. And that last part mattered more than anything else. We have this strange stigma in society where the value of success is measured by how little help someone receives. People constantly ask me, how did you do it? How did you lose the weight? But they don't want to hear gastric bypass or medication because somehow that diminishes the struggle. Let me be clear. There is no easy way out. Surgery doesn't remove addiction. Medication doesn't remove behavior. But asking for help is not weakness. It took me more strength to ask for help than it did to spend years silently struggling alone. So I joined an outpatient recovery group. I listened to my doctors. I trusted them. I accepted that maybe, just maybe, they knew better than I did. Food, though, food still had its hooks in me. Then, 3 months later, my wife showed me 2 little blue lines. We were having a baby. And for the first time in my life, fear worked for me instead of against me. Because I realized